Yo, what is up YouTube? Cruiser here. Welcome back to another Play and Explain of Rush&Cash 200. This one we're gonna start with a small c-bet. Ace 10-4. Seems good. Okay, pretty fast call. We have a whole bunch of stuff like Broadways, 10x, low ace-x. I'm gonna be sizing up a bit. Okay, this one against 2x, maybe we can develop. Yeah, I think I'm gonna develop some flats. Usually I would only flat from the button, but we have a recreational on the button, so I wanna play some pots against him with pocket pairs. Alright, I can stab this board. I don't really care if I get check raised, to be honest, 3-way, so let's just stab. Calling here against 2x. Alright. Some 8-6 improve, which I beat. Which I block. Pocket 7s improve. Checking here. I'm wondering, like, can I overbet to fold out 9 and get called by, like, spades, 3x of spades, stuff like that? I think I'm gonna go for it. Putting up more aggression 3-way is going to be nice here. Like here, I'm just gonna pot it. Don't expect ace to fold ever. I have so many sets here. He should be scared if he has a 9 or if he has an overpair. I still get called by 6-5, pocket 4s, 3x of spades, ace-6 of spades. Alright, sucks, but it is what it is. He probably just had a 7. He probably just had those 3 combos of 7s. I still like my play here. Alright, we would have folded the river anyways. This one I'm gonna go for a cold 4. Might be too thin, but on a super high roll, I think it's fine. Stuff like ace-5, ace-10, ace-jack, king-10 should be in there some of the time. Alright, interesting board. He should have some, okay, like cut off button, small blind. He shouldn't have ace-king that much. Let's start with the c-bet. We block some, even if he slow plays ace-king, we block some pocket 10s. In theory, I think he should be developing some raises with this ace-queen region. I don't think people would do that enough in practice. Maybe they would. I don't know. Starting with a small c-bet here. And then if they don't raise ace-queen on the flop, I always wanna bet myself. Because then there's a chance he also folds stuff like jacks without a heart in that spot, you know, which is a huge win against my exact hand. Right? Mostly folding here. Gives BB 3-bet. I still think people in today's age still under 3-bet from big blind, so you don't want to call as wide. Here I think I'm gonna always be calling because we're deeper, we're getting really good price, like 3x. Nice board. I think if it was like something like 8, 9, 7, I would develop some leads. This board, maybe I can still lead, but really low frequency. I would be leading on higher card, like, as I said, 9, 8, 7, 10, 9, 8, stuff like that. Now I think my range wants to block or check. I have a lot of low pocket pairs. And he has a lot of overcards that I need to deny equity against, so I just block or check. Okay, now he just calls. Now I don't really care about those overcards. Now the region I'm targeting is the slow played aces, kings, tens, stuff like that. So I think I'm just going to overbet here. Yes, he can have some fives, ace five, but majority of his range is like 9x and overpairs. So that's the range I want to maximize against. Like he's never folding aces here. If he slow plays that on the flop, which he should, some frequency deep stack. If we get raised, the easy fold, because no one bluffs this spot when I can have so many 5x in my range. Folding here without a club. Interesting that he folded, because I'm going to have so many 10x there, jack 10, hearts. Even busted hearts are probably good candidates because the board is so good for me on that exact run out. I'm surprised he actually folded a pair there. I assume he had a pair because he tanked so long. Don't think he would tank with ace king that much. Right, rolling a 4-bet, call this time. We have to call one, even against the bigger size. Super dry board. We will struggle to defend. We'll struggle to have board pairs here, so we have to call more of the overcard region, even against bigger sizings. I'm going to be checking here. You can develop some leads because I'm going to have 2-pair advantage on this board. Actually, I'm going to go for it. Here, yeah, we're calling. We can check now, block again. With our like 10-9s, with our like jack 8, stuff like that. It's good to overblock in these spots because people struggle to raise. But I still think our hand is a bit weaker here. Now I think I'm just gonna check. Having heart is bad now because he should be giving up hearts a lot on this turn. So that's why I didn't want to bet my hand on the turn. And now I think I'm gonna block with every pair. Hope he calls ace high. Okay, interesting. I really want to call this because it makes no sense, the sizing. He should be jamming here. But the thing is, he's bluffing ace high here, like half pot, like what is that, like 9s. And that's why I'm the GOAT. I'm kidding. But his turn size made no sense, guys. He should be jamming that spot. You know, bet check, bet line, all his overpairs have to jam there. Right? It's all about playing a proper strategy. Like, what hand wants to go half pot there? You know, in those spots, you always overcall. You need to know the appropriate sizing, and if you see a guy using bad sizings, that means you overcall. Okay, for betting this one always. We can jam. Let's go for a normal 4-bet this time. Button versus cutoff. There's less jamming going on overall. Okay, interesting board. This board, I'm certain we can't range c-bet because now he's going to have so many 7s, 10s, ace queen, ace jack. But with our exact suits, I think we can go for it. If I had other suits, I would be checking. And going for a check raise or something like that. Here, I'm going to be c-betting. 7s need protection. If I had jacks, queens, kings, aces, I will be checking more often. He jams in this spot. I think we have to call, but we're going to run into ace 10. We're going to run into... I haven't tagged as a reg, like ace queen. He can still have ace queen in his range. He can still have over pairs A lot of people fast play sets and 2-pair here, so I don't love the call, but we have to call. Okay. Run it twice. We lose first one. And we chop. I'm never following this spot. I was just explaining that it's some people they're not really playing their range. They just want to stack my ace king straight up. They don't care if I have something else, you know. They don't care if I have a weak ace or pocket queens with a diamond to make me indifferent with a smaller raise, right? So some people jam there straight up if you have 7s or 10s. But still though, ace queen is also part of the jamming range because they want to deny equity. And if I beat value, I obviously can't fold. Folding here. By the way, a lot of people were asking me about the win rate so far on these stakes. I have to admit, I'm going to put a screenshot here. I have to admit I ran really, really, really well. I also ran well in a fish buffet. I got like second prize 3 times in a row or something like that. So I know people say like 90% of regs lose here. I know I'm aware that I ran good, but still though, all the spots that I lose, I think I misplay horribly. You know, I'm still making huge mistakes, and with those huge mistakes, I'm still in the profit with EV. So I still believe it's possible to have a win rate here, a decent one as well. Like I'm making really big mistakes sometimes. I can't believe my eyes when when I bluff catch like a really bad spot that I would never bluff catch, and then I randomly something just snaps in my head. You know, I just randomly click call for no reason. I don't even understand why. So I'm having a bunch of those mistakes, but overall, like most of the players are like 4-tabling. You know, they're using bet sizings like we saw in that king queen hand. Like it's easy to read those spots. Gonna be half pot delaying here with my one of the best 9x I think you can go in that size. Sorry, not delaying, double barreling, yeah. When you're BVB, if you go look at the aggregate reports for the AI Wiz, the most double barrel sizing would be half pot, because on a lot of the turns, they're either gonna improve big blind's range, he's either gonna like get straights, get flushes, or get the offsuit 2-pair advantage. So that's why you never want to build a pot in those spots. Now I think is it too thin to better 9? Like I think it is too thin to better 9 now. So I'm just gonna check. Hope I win against 6x. I wanted to block again, but what am I getting called by? 6, ace 5 of hearts. Now I think I'm gonna fold. Yes, he can bluff a lot of hearts here, but I block some of the check bluffs like king 10 with a heart, king jack with a heart, stuff like that. So I think I'm gonna fold this spot. He still has a lot of hearts, and it's a good board for him. But still though, I like my fold there. Okay, big sizing, short stacker, never calling. All right, 3-betting this always. 2x open after the fan king deuce. Folding against UTG. I do have some backdoors, but still lose to call against UTG there. 3-bet or fold this one. Let's 3-bet. Right. I'm gonna mix my hand as a call, holding this time. I think in those spots you just wanna call like lowest suited connectors and then stuff like ace queen, queens, ace king off, and then mix fold with all other hands that are in between. I don't know exact frequencies, but if I had to guess, probably like 30-40% call. Okay, range c-bet, queen high board, good for us. Ace high with queen trips, sorry. Sometimes I just say, even though I'm thinking about something else. Okay, folding. Opening this with a recreational small blind and tighter guy in the big blind. But obviously we get 3-bet. Really amazing odds here, but we can't call this hand, obviously. I'd call any suited hand, even like Jack 8 suited, I think I call here. Versus this size. 3-betting here. Right, small c-bet seems fine. Especially if the guy won't raise me enough with stuff like pocket 4s, pocket 5s, pocket 3s, as he should. 3-betting ace deuce always. Offsuit. Now, on the turn, I don't think I want to bet depolarized, so I'm just betting big bet or check with my ace queen plus, some ace king as well, maybe with a diamond, spade, and then I'm checking the rest. Really good board for me. I'm going to range c-bet here because I'm going to have 4x advantage. I'm going to have so many stuff like jack 4 suited and 4 suited, and he can't do anything about it. Interesting river. Like I need to expect him to bluff like pocket 10s here, 6-5, stuff like that with a diamond. Would he do that? Probably not. So I think I'm just betting myself. Hope I get called by ace 10. Queen jack. Yeah, I need to bet myself here. Looks a bit thin for this size, but I need to bet myself. I expect a passive guy won't reopen enough here. He has so many value here if he jams, like 10-9, diamond spades, king 10, queen x of diamonds. He's thinking about it. I mean, I have no bluffs here. What are my bluffs? Like jack 10. Three betting here. Can't believe he was actually thinking of raising there when he loses to so many flushes and straights. So maybe the tag wasn't accurate with his passive if he's thinking about raising there. I assume he was thinking about raising, otherwise why would he tank with a set? I wonder, can I check fold there against that specific tag? If I expect him not to reopen, does that mean I value bet thinner, or does that mean I check fold more? Probably both, right? And if I block his calls like ace 10, ace king, then I want to check more, and then if he bets, I want to check over, check fold. Probably that would be the adjustment there. Okay, big size, we're deeper. Do I peel this one? I think I do. Just because we're deeper. 3-betting here. Similar board to the other one. We can have some leads, but actually let's go for it, because I don't think people will raise appropriately. Like, he has to be raising king queen off with a diamond, ace jack off with a diamond. Some people might, some people won't, don't get me wrong. But I still think in practice, in every leading spot, there is, let's say, single raise spot, big blind, single raise spot after you call the c-bet on the turn. In 3-bet pots, when the board is good for you, I think leading performs way better than TV suggests. Just because people, like, it's understudied node, people are struggle to find raise bluffs, right? Some of the hands are really counterintuitive. Okay, the diamond blockers there are easier to find. But let's see what was the board. 8-4. Okay, so like he has to be raising some of, like, maybe ace tens, you know, even without diamonds and stuff like that. Where he blocks some of my best calls, like pocket tens, pocket jacks. Would that happen in practice? Probably not. I won't even say probably. I'm gonna say certainly 100% not, right? And how do you counter adjust against that? You just lead way more, because there's two most important things in poker: is deny equity and realize equity. So if you're not getting raised, you're both denying equity and realizing your equity. Okay, 2x open. I need to defend this one. Right, can't do anything on the turn. Better card for his range. Just gonna be betting my hearts, clubs here. Okay, calling here always. Ooh. 3x open, I'm gonna fold. Jack 9 off. I expect him to use like 10% here or something like that. Nice. So definitely. He has some leaks, but if he understands that this board is a for 10% board, then I'm guessing he's a good reg. So I mislabeled him probably. He should be checking a lot here, because I'm gonna have I'm gonna have so many low pocket pairs with a club that will be put in a like tough spot if he checks. Then I have to bluff them, you know. And then I'm either gonna have like set pocket tens, jack X, right? I'm gonna be checking my hand majority of the time, I believe, if not it pure. Maybe there's some like merge betting that I fold out ace 5, and then I have some strong hands once the river pairs, but here jack 9, I tanked a bit too long here, so I'm just gonna take the passive approach. Even though it's a okay board for me, UTG, you're supposed to be c-betting a lot UTG, but on this board I'm gonna play b75 or check. I obviously prefer to have hearts from the flop, but I still think these hands gets in there a decent amount of frequency. And now we fold our hand. It's a bluff catcher. Like, we would be calling like ace queen here, like jack 10 of clubs, ace 10, stuff like that. Yeah, the price is like insanely bad, so nothing we can do there. Going 40% here. Well played hand by him. He's leveraging his nut advantage, but he also needs to understand that I need to call him with some like stuff like that, king queen there. That is a really good bluff catcher. That could actually be overbluffed because he used a 10% on the flop, so he's probably using his whole range. Yeah. I mean, I don't need to call that hand always because the price is so bad, right? I have plenty of boats in that spot. Folding here. Could be overbluffed, but still though, I'm plenty of boats there. Okay, can flat this one deeper. Instead of 3-betting, seems good. Pretty bad sizing here for a squeeze. I think I'm always gonna call. If this guy doesn't 4-bet, obviously. Squeeze really small out of B. Okay, oh no, he's called. Okay, never mind. Always calling. It's such a bad strat. Straight up jam, right? The EV you get from aces, kings, queens, jacks, tens in these spots is you limp them and you have to hope that someone, like after you rejams with stuff like ace 5, with stuff like queen jack suited, you know. That's how you get EV in those spots. You don't get EV by straight up jamming. You can actually see these strategies in the GTO wizard. They have strategies for the cash drop pots. Interesting. Obviously, I can't do anything with my hand, but he's either saying he like slow played ace jack or gets pocket fives on the turn. These guys slam folds. Interesting. Okay, always betting here against a limper. Three betting here. Okay, we're almost at the 30-minute mark. Let's go for like 5 or 10 more minutes. Auto small pots. A lot of talking by me about spots, so I think this was an interesting one. Okay, 13 BB. I think I'm already folding this. These are the spots where you don't call as the solver would, because again, people are going to be under 3-betting big blind. And these are the worst hands you can call. Stuff like 10-9, stuff like 9-8, stuff like Queen Jack suited, you know. Then you call like either pocket pairs, you call lowest suited connectors, you call suited aces, ace king, ace queen, even king queen off might start folding there against 13, against the under 3-better. Range c-bet here against the recreational. I thought this guy's a reg. Why is he on 36 BB stack? Right. Either calling or 4-betting again in theory, but in practice, 18 VPIP. Like he's not gonna find 20% frequency BVB bluffs in this spot. Here, I think I'm gonna start with a C bet against unknown. Check calling the turn. If I had something like Jack 10, I'm more inclined to bet again to deny equity against some these highs. But this one, I think I'm gonna check. And B75 on the river. Now I'm playing my hand strength. Using the sizing my hand is worth. If I had a queen, I would overbet. Okay. Folding here, I can't call second pair, three-way. Expanding my opening range here, again, because of the weak big blind. And unknown on the button. Every time I said this in this video, I got 3-bet. But I got 3-bet by that one guy that I'm not... that I expect to get 3-bet by, right? Don't expect button to 3-bet me there as much, unknown, and then big blind stacked as a recreational. Has to have like 10% 3-betting range there versus cutoff. He's probably going to have like 4 or 5 at best. Maybe even like 3 jacks plus, right? Okay, overbet or check here. My hand, good candidate with flush draw. Okay, 15 VPIP guy. I think I want to 3-bet more blockery hands against these players. So like high offsuit cards instead of these hands. Okay, gonna be stabbing for pot here on the turn. He should have some 10x in theory, but in practice he probably never has it because he snap checked on the flop. If he had like Jack 10, 10-8, he would think about it, right? Now he has some queen, king, ace, king, 9x. He still has some 9x though. But like queen, king, queen. Maybe a block and call a jam. I mean, call a raise. Block and jam over his raise. I think that's the play here. Because I still get called by ace high and I lose less if he does have a 9 and decides to reopen on the river. I think that hand is ideal to block rejam. Because then I block pocket 8s that will always play that line, right? Check flop, call turn, gets there on the river and raises, right? And then I block that combo. So then it's a good block 3-bet bluff candidate. Kind of dicey versus UTG 2x. I think I call ace 5, ace 4, ace 7, ace 8. Maybe this one is like one of the only aces we fold against UTG 2x. One of the worst aces, like ace deuce and ace 6. Could be wrong there. Okay, nice board for the small blind. I expect range c-bet here. Holding this one always. Calling at least 2 streets. It's actually better to call on the turn once Jack doesn't come. Because now, like, he has less bluffs. You know, so I might actually... I would be more willing to call it if the turn was a 3 or like a 5, something like that. Once he pots it here, I have king queen off, I have all the ace-x in the world, I have 10x, I have backdoor hearts. I think this is gonna be exploitative fold, maybe. Against a pot size. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Because he's betting into a range that has a lot of ace-x and a lot of king queen off. Right. Ask yourself, is it easier to think my opponent has 10x there, my opponent has random backdoors? Or is it easier to think my opponent has all the ace-x, all the king queen off, and I'm betting into that range, right? So more logically, it will be underbluffed. Yeah. And that's why I'm overfolding that spot. 3-betting here. Okay, before your check on this board, but I guess the recreational, I'm just gonna range c-bet. If you fold stuff like queen, 9 of clubs already, that's a win for me. Okay, or better check. Again, ace king board. Actually, if I was UTG, I think jacks gets in there sometimes, so we can have some bluffs on straight runouts. But here it's too high STV cutoff and the button, so we're not gonna be barreling it on the flop. And just checking. All right. 5 more minutes and we wrap it up. Okay, open shops. Note that guy. Here I'm gonna limp. Unknown from a big blind. I don't expect to get isolated as much. So I treat this spot as e5 or the big blind. I call kind of same range there. All right, betting here. This guy's still uncapped. And now I'm gonna be going for a pot on the river. Have infinite bluffs here, 10-9 off, queen 10 off, ace. Okay, I'm not gonna bluff ace 10. Queen 10 off, ace 10 off, spades. Right. So he has to be bluff catching me with a jack here. Right. Calling sixes here against 2x. Nothing to do on the turn. Maybe if I had eights, I would maybe merge, bluff, get called by ace jack, and then fold out better. But this is too weak to bet 3-way. All right. Pair deuce. Usually on paired boards, you always want to go 25%, but when the deuce pairs, once the 3 pairs, you actually want to size up a bit. Because he's going to have tougher time to defend his overcards, right? The board is so dry, he has to defend so much there, even against half pot. Right? Interesting board. Interesting candidate to check raise. I think I prefer 7-6 off instead of this one, but still fine. All right, now I think I'm gonna be playing some block or some overbets for my straights, and block for some of my pocket 8, 7x and stuff like that. I think if I gonna be betting this one pretty much always, I block some pocket 8s, and yeah, having a diamond is nice. He doesn't have as much flushes by the river then. So it looks like an ideal candidate for a block to me. And a lot of people would check back here. But I think it's still worth a block. He's still going to have so many 6s, 3x, ace queen, right? So I'm going to go for a block again. Three betting this one. Okay. A similar board to that other one versus other guy. So I'm going 10% here. Wow. You see how 10% is so good in these spots. Like, he probably has to defend something like 6-5 without the spade there. That's how much he needs to defend against mono boards. Sorry, against 10% on mono boards. Folding this one. It's the defense are really counterintuitive against 10%. You have to defend so much garbage. It's crazy. Okay, pretty good board for him. He should be leading some of the time because he's gonna have straight and 2-pair advantage. That's if he doesn't lead. I want to check way more often. I think my hand is really good as a check call because I can call any turn. As a check back, so I can call any turn, sorry. Pretty bad sizing by him because he wants to put my high cards into indifference now. And how does he do that? Is by using smaller bet. Now I have easy fold with them. But obviously I can't fold my hand, so I'm just going to call. This one I'm going to be folding. 10-9, I think I'm going to be calling. Now he checks. So he gave up his hand for the most part, and I'm just going to be betting here. Trying to fold out something like King 10. This is pretty horribly played by him, to be honest. Because I shouldn't have 10x in that, because I shouldn't have as much 10x calling the turn because of his size, right? So he should always go for a block there on the river. But he got me this time, so well played. I'm not salty, I'm just saying, like, I'm just giving my thoughts about the spot. Okay, this one, I actually don't want to overbet here because he can have still a-jack off in his range. This one I'm gonna call 4-bet. This guy's a bit tighter. I expect him to fold stuff like jack stands more than he should, in theory. I mean, good way to end the video, guys. Let's sit out. Pretty insane good board for him. I think I'm gonna check range here. Check range and check jam is the play. I want to stack 10s, jacks straight up here before the run out runs 4 straight. That's basically the idea for check jamming. I don't care if he has ace queen himself that will fold. I don't care really. Like, he's tight. I think he should have straight. He should have sets way more often than random hands here. So I'm just gonna check jam. I see tanking queens. No queen, please. Nice. Surprised by this call. I wouldn't expect him to make this call because he's so tight. But I think this hand is a better call than queens because then he bets. He blocks some of my sets that I can check jam because I don't think I'm going to jam queens there. I think it's too thin because he still has a lot of sets himself. Or maybe I would because the SPR is a bit small. I have no clue. I have to check that hand. But yeah, this is the end of the video. Hope you guys liked it. A lot of small, interesting pots again. I talked a lot this session. My throat is pretty sore now. I need to drink something. But yeah, I hope you learned something and see ya in the next one.